各位朋友，大家晚安，大家好，欢迎大家参加今天这一场2022 European Study Talk 留学欧洲说明会。那留学欧洲说明会是由欧洲在台的官方单位联合举办。那我们将从2022年的9月一直到2023年的2月来进行整个系列的活动。那我们将邀请到了超过50多所的欧洲知名的高等教育校院，那将要进行这个留学欧洲线上说明会。那当然除了有德国、英国、法国，还有比利时、荷兰、瑞典、瑞士、意大利等专业顶尖的这个欧洲大学来接力的为各位来做留学欧洲的计划指点迷津。那当然除了商管、资讯学校以及还有像著名的理工、设计、观光、医学科系等知名的校院都有加入。他们将提供你最新的教育制度、申请流程，还有奖学金，以及毕业后可以在当地工作的一些创业的最新资讯。你一定可以收集到很多你所需要的资讯，以及在部分的说明会里面有学长姐会到现场来做经验分享，所以在都可以帮助你来准备你未来的申请。那今晚的留学欧洲部署未来，我们邀请到的是法国里尔大学以及法国 EMICO 这个美院，今晚来为我们留学法国，在浪漫之都里向专业来学习。那跟大家介绍一下今晚的顺序，等一下是从晚上7点到7点40分，是由我们里尔大学来做介绍。那之后7点50分到8点半的时间，会有法国 EMICO 这个美国这个艺术学院会来帮我们做介绍。所以待会之后这一场结束以后，欢迎大家都继续留下来参加我们第2场的说明会。Tonight, 7 p.m. we are very happy to have Alex and also Aries from the University of Lille, France, the professional and focus on training innovative entrepreneurs in the France and how you can deploy your future at the University of Lille. 部署你自己的未来，你该如何准备？强化你的专业跟人脉，以及学校待会会为我们解说国际学生的留学与职涯之路。那紧接7点50分就会有我们法国另外一个学校来介绍实务又专业的课程，所以大家希望大家都能够留下来听到最后。那在开始之前呢，讲座进行当中，我们会尽可能的回复大家的问题，所以请大家在我们Q&A 的这个 box 里面提问你所有想要问的问题，不管是打中文、英文、法文都可以。那我们等一下会后面有一个 Q&A 的时段，我们会尽可能请学校代表来跟大家来回答。Okay, let's welcome Alex and Aries from the University of Lille. Over to you.
Thank you, Jen. So firstly, let us thank the organizer of this webinar and allow us to promote our university in front of you, the potential students from Taiwan. First of all, I'm Alexis Boulet. I'm in charge of the international promotion of the University of Lille, and together with my colleague Arélis, communication officer at the international department, we are going to present the University of Lille and our academic and training offer. So I will let Arélis speak first about our university in general, then I will speak about our training offer, and at the end we will speak about how we welcome international students at the University of Lille.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Alexis. Thank you very much, the European Education Fair, for inviting us. So as Alexis says, so we work for the International Office of the University of Lille, which is actually one of the biggest universities in France, and is actually one of the biggest because we are all over the world with more than 100 partners around the world, in America, in Asia, Europe, and obviously other parts of the world. So actually, the University of Lille, as you're going to see, ULille. So we are a place to discover because we have full of facilities that are 80,000 students at the university, having between them actually 9,000 international students with different more than 150 different nationalities, which means that actually we are presented all over the world. We have 52 teaching innovation rooms. We have 24 locations actually in the university. We have different campuses, so that makes 24. And we have since January of this year, we count actually 15 faculties, schools, and institutes, because we merged to create a new University of Lille, having now different specific schools in different areas that are part of the University of Lille. Actually, this new university give us the opportunity to have a multidisciplinary educational offering actually 4 major areas: law, economics and management, healthcare and sport, science and technology, arts, literature, languages, humanities and social science, using actually innovative learning methods. For example, online courses, well known as MOOCs, serious games, medical simulation center, immersive teaching materials, online preparation for language certificates, and hybrid courses, for example, and among other options that we have at the university. So we have, as I said before, 15 schools, faculties, and institutes. As you can see, the names are in French because actually these is the official names or our faculties, but you can find faculties of science, economic, social, and territory. You also have a well-known faculty of medicine, a well-known faculty of law. Now, actually, we host the Institute of Political Science, well known as Sciences Po Lille. We also have the University School of Management. We also have the School of Architecture and Landscape, the official schools of journalism, and among other well-known schools and institutes of the university, which actually give us the opportunity to cover most areas than other universities in France, and also give the opportunity to host different and to welcome different international students. So Lille is also a territorial history, because actually the University of Lille, as we know it right now, is actually really new, because it started actually this year in January. But we also have the University of Lille in the first faculty since more than 20, 30, and 40 years. So actually, Lille is at the crossroad or northwestern Europe, the third biggest city in France by population, then the third most attractive city in terms of jobs and housing. It is actually a full city with more than 100,000 students, and among the top of most welcoming cities in the world. So what makes Lille also very interesting, especially for international students, is actually that our city is 1 hour from Paris by train, 1.5 hours from London, and only 35 minutes from Brussels, which is actually really easy to travel from Lille, really easy to discover, and that gave us also this opportunity to develop different cooperation with cross-borders universities. Which is actually really nice of our university and our city is actually that when I talk about history, it is because this is the city of art and history, and we got this status since 2004. And also the city, if you come to Lille, I hope so that all your students can come to Lille, so you can discover that actually in the city, the city still reflects this Spanish occupation and the blend of the Flemish and French culture, actually, when you see its architecture. So it's really nice to be in Lille and see like all the combination and this blend actually of different cultures. Lille also is located in an ecosystem of different innovative enterprises, for example, in collaboration with our local and regional scientific partners, for example, Lille University Hospital or the National Center for Scientific Research. But we are also at the heart of innovation clusters that can give us different multinationals enterprises located in Lille that offer different internship, for example, for our students and especially for international students. But obviously, you are really interested in discovering our teaching program. So Alexis, you can now explain what we offer for different students at the university.
Yes, thank you, Alice, for this short presentation of our such big university here in Lille, France. So I will speak about our teaching program of excellence. We will mainly focus on master's and PhD programs, as our bachelor programs are mostly taught in French, and the requirement is to have a B2 or C1 level in French to apply for one of our bachelor degree. But if you already have this kind of level in French, I will recommend you to go to our website and to go to the formation training part and to see all the bachelor degree we are offering to the students. So as I said, Alice, we are a young university. We merged with other schools in January this year, and we are focused on welcoming international students. That's why we have several programs, mostly master's and PhD programs, as I said, in English, and in order to welcome international students. So we have 10 Erasmus Mundus Masters, which are a program funded by the European Commission. That's to say that these masters are in partnership with other universities in Europe. You will spend a semester here in Lille and another one in another country, so that's good for international students to know more than France and to discover the other countries of Europe. We have more than 40 dual degrees with our partners in the world. 26 courses fully taught in English, and other, for example, 30 bilingual courses and 20 languages taught to the students who wish to learn other languages here in Lille. We will focus on our 4 graduate programs, which aims is to train and form students to do research by doing research. So I will speak about these 4 graduate programs who belongs to our strategy, our national policy. We receive some funding from the French National Research Agency, and we develop 4 research hubs, like you can see: precision health, science for changing planet, human-friendly digital world, and changing cultures, societies, and practices. Within these hubs, we decided to create these graduate programs to train master students and PhD students to tackle the challenge we highlighted within these research hubs. What we can say further is that these graduate programs dedicated to master's and PhD degrees offer some scholarships. So it is very important for international students to receive some grants to fund their mobility or their study here in France. So I will speak about each of one of these graduate programs, and then at the end, we will talk about the different grants you can benefit from. So the first one is graduate programs focused on precision health. It is composed of 1 master's in biology and healthcare and a PhD program. So the course are open to biologists, doctors, pharmacists, and bioinformaticians, whether they come from France or from abroad. But one advice I would recommend you to follow is to contact directly with the representatives of these graduate programs to know if your profiles fit the requirement of this healthcare and biology masters, because here in France, the study of health are quite different from other countries. So it is one thing you have to keep in mind is to contact with the representative of this master to know if you can apply to these graduate programs. And one thing more to know is that during your master or PhD program, you will have to undertake mobility abroad, whether in an industry or in other industry research units. So you will have to plan before applying to these graduate programs to have a backup plan to go on mobility abroad or in an enterprise. The second graduate programs focused on the science for a changing planet. You have here the list of the 9 master's degrees in physics, chemistry, biology, and earth science taught in English, of course. And you can see there is some tag mentioning the Erasmus Mundus, but we will speak about this kind of program just after, even I mentioned it a little bit earlier. So the list is available on different websites. They all have their own website specifying their requirements, the scholarship grants, and the dates in order to apply for the next academic year. The third graduate programs focused on information and knowledge society. So that's kind of digital sciences. 10 masters are eligible for these graduate programs, and they're focused on mathematics, physics, nanoscience, biotechnology, philosophy, and psychology. Totally in English, like the graduate program before, and same information, another website dedicated fully for this graduate program. At the end, we have fourth and last graduate programs, but you have to know that these masters are fully taught in French, except for one who is in purple on our slide, entitled Economics of Globalization and European Integration. So if you wish to apply for this graduate program, you have to know that the courses are in French, and you have to get at least a B2 level in French, as I mentioned earlier, same things for the bachelor degree. So one thing you can do is to contact the representative of a master you would like to follow and to indicate your level in French in order to know if it's enough or not, and if you have to follow more French courses to improve your level and to follow the courses the best way possible for you and for the other students and for the teachers. So as we said earlier, these graduate programs offer some kind of scholarships and grants. The first one is a yearly fellowships based on your academic record, your merit, your motivation. And you have a file to complete, and then the representatives of the graduate programs will evaluate your resume, your motivation letter, and then will decide if you are eligible to receive a first grant of an amount of 3,500 euros. We put the conversion in your national currency so that you know a little bit what it represents in terms of money. The second one is dedicated to specifically to students coming from abroad. So it will be your case if you decide to apply for one of the master within our graduate programs. And depending on your nationality and in your country of residence, when applying, you will receive a grant of 3,500 euros. So same thing, we put the conversion in your currency. And you are encouraged to apply for these grants in order to receive them. Finally, as I said, for example, for the health graduate programs, there is some mobility to pursue during the year of master's and graduate and PhD degree. And depending on the time you will spend abroad in a company or in a research unit, you will have to complete a file, and the representatives of the masters and the board of the master will decide the amount you will get in order to pursue your mobility abroad. So it can be up to 3,000 euros. For example, if you wish to go to France, to Canada or Australia, it will be 3,000 euros. But if you decide to undertake a mobility in Belgium, 15 kilometers from Lille, you will not receive 3,000 euros, of course, because it do not cost as much to go in Belgium from Lille, for example. So I recommend you to go to the websites to find all the requirements to apply, the application forms, the dates, and to prepare your files in advance and not at the last time to do the things the most softly possible. Our Erasmus Mundus, so there is a mistake on our slides. It's not 9 Erasmus Mundus, but now we have 10 Erasmus Mundus Masters in partnership with our university in Europe. But one thing you have to know is that in order to apply for one of these masters, you have to follow a specific registration process and not the regular registration process of the University of Lille, because it is a master's in partnership with 2, 3, 4 universities in Europe, and they all decided to put some criteria and registration process with dates different from the one of the University of Lille. So you will find each criteria, dates, all your information available on their website, a website which is shared by the University of Lille and the partners. And after that, if you are selected to participate and to be enrolled in one of these Erasmus Mundus, you will have to follow the regular registration process at the University of Lille. So one thing we can highlight about this Erasmus Mundus is that the fact that you can benefit from a scholarship from the European Commission, or in the second graduate program, Science for a Changing Planet, we also have one of these masters included in that graduate program. So whether you can benefit from a grant from the European Commission or from the University of Lille graduate program scheme. So, and another important fact is that the fact that you will be able to come to Lille in France to follow, for example, one semester of courses and then go with the classes for another semester in Germany or, for example, in Italy, Spain, and you will be able to discover more than one country in Europe during your 2 years of master's degree. So that's an important thing for international students who wish to discover more than France. Finally, I will speak about the PhD program. So we have 7 doctoral schools focused on different scientific domains, for example, health, human and social sciences, mathematics, engineering, etc. So depending on your fields of study and your interest, one thing you can do if you wish to undertake a PhD degree is to contact directly with a researcher from one of our research units here in Lille, and to discuss with the potential supervisor what kind of project you can develop with them, with the lab, with the university, and then together with the supervisors, to find some funding to fund your salary during the 3 years of the PhD degree. So there is not only one way to get funding for a PhD degree. There is some funding at the University of Lille, but also at the regional council, at the city of Lille, and some companies also fund the PhD degree. So there is not one way to get funding, but several ones. And the supervisor here in Lille are well informed about the possibility and will accompany you to find the funding if you wish to have one. One thing we can add is that the fact that for some, for the bachelor degree and for some of the masters in the 4th graduate programs in humanities and social sciences, French level is required to apply for these courses. So one thing you can do at the University of Lille, we are offering some classes of French for the foreigners. So here you can see that you can fill up a file, the pre-registration file for the 2nd semester of this academic year. So you have to send your file between 1st of October to 15th October this year to start in January next year for 1 semester of fully classes in French here in Lille. So it's best, I think in my opinion, it's the best way to learn French in France and not abroad, because you will be immersed in a French culture, and in a daily basis you will have to practice your French. So it's a best way to learn French. You have some application fee of 100 euros and the tuition fees per semester. So an academic year in France starts in September and ends in July. And so the first semester starts in September and finish in January, and the second one starts in January until July. So for one semester is 1,620 euros. So we put the links directly towards the page on our website, explaining the dates, the application forms to fill in, and the amounts, and all the information you have to read before completing your file.
Yeah, and actually, as a student of French as a foreign language, you will also have actually all the benefits of a student at the university enrolling a degree. So if you follow French classes, you can actually benefit from every activity as a normal student of the university that give you actually the student card.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Alice, for this added information. So now I will let Alice speak about our tradition of warm welcomes here in Lille and in France, and we will hope to see you there soon. Let's go.
So thank you, Alexis. So actually, yes, we said before, the University of Lille actually creates different dispositifs so that can help you to be welcome at the university. One of them is actually the Maison Internationale, which is our international house, created in 2019 because we got the label Welcome to France. So we create actually the house which aims to welcome international students, but also international researchers, international PhD students, giving them the opportunity to help them regarding administrative procedures, and also a welcome desk that helps with the social and cultural actions on the university, but also in the city of Lille. So they are there open. It is actually the next building to our office, and the international house actually is open all the time to help students to discover the city, but also to get information related to different administrative procedures, which are really common in France. But also we organize at the university and with the Maison Internationale different activities to welcome international students. For example, at the end of September, we organize the Welcome Days, which are 3 days of immersion to present our different services at the university, Students Association, different departments, and to make them discover the local culture. Then at the same time at the university and during all the month of September, the University of Lille organized the Immersion Days, which are several days organizing different events so we can actually get to know the university for students that are coming for the first time. So you can discover different services like sports, accommodation, cafeterias, library, and more and more and more. And we have also a week in November, which is actually the International Student Week, open to all students at the University of Lille, international and local students, which are with the aim of promoting all the programs that Alexis presented you before, all the different partners we have around the world, but also to give you enough information about students' mobility. So about the campuses and campuses life, so as I said before, we have different university libraries and resources centers. We also have a sports facility. So at the university, we have more than 20 different programs of sports, different cultural activities, and more than 120 students association. In the campus life, for example, you can discover and enjoy integration days, introduction to student life, end of year festivities, international student week, welcome days, mixed festivals, summer break, sporting events, and so on. So actually to welcome students and to help them and to facilitate actually integration and applications of formalities incoming and outgoing students. So we developed 2 applications. One is called actually mobile applications, I wanted to say. So EU Lille Go, which helps students actually before coming to Lille, during their mobility and after the mobility, to get enough information about the university, but also administrative procedures, and also EU Lille Explore, which is actually the body system proposed by other students to help international students come into Lille. When I talk about international students, they are students enrolling an exchange program, or also students as you, for example, that you're going to come in the frame of a free mover program. So to get a diploma in France. So we have specific support for foreign students, such as La Maison Internationale. So we have Reflex Residence, which is actually an international residence, the Department of International French Teaching, the one actually where you can follow French classes, International Academy and its summer session, and Or Access Center, which is actually proposed and open for PhD students. And we got actually in 2018 the label Bienvenue en France, which gave us actually the opportunity to develop different support and specific support for international students. We also have at the university, and not only for international students, but for all students, different options and different activity actually proposing a commitment of responsibility, for example, related to solidarity, or also to combat vulnerability and isolation. So for example, food aid scam, combating unequal access to digital technology, third spaces dedicated to solidarity initiative, recycling, for example, also promoting the soft mobility, because we also have the house of cycling at the university, supporting people in exile, because we also have a program for different students coming in this program, for example, the pilot program, gender equality plan, and other supports, for example, for disabled students. At the university, we're also real lucky because we are in a dynamic and welcoming region, which actually I have to say that it's not that sunny as we see in these pictures. I mean, not all the year, but it's a really, really welcome city and really welcoming region with more than 100 museums and similar facilities, or international sports and cultural events, exceptional range of tourist attractions, for example, different cities around the Lille Métropole, Lille, Roubaix, and Tourcoing, the famous Braderie de Lille, which actually takes place the first weekend of September, that welcome different tourists from Europe and all around the world. And we also create in the city we are hosting actually the brand of the city of Lille, which is called Hello Lille, where you can find actually different attractions and facilities for discovering the city and also to discover the region. And also a vast urban, regional, national, and international transport network, giving us all the opportunities to discover not only the region of Lille, but also, as I said before, the cross-border countries near to Lille and to the north of France. So actually, as I said before, in January, we create a new university, the big University of Lille. And our slogan right now is actually inspiring tomorrow. So you can find we decided to put it in different languages to show that we are really welcome to welcome international students at the University of Lille, and also to giving us the opportunity to develop other projects and other international opportunities. So if you want to keep up with the latest news, and also to follow us and to know and to get new information, also to keep in contact, so you can follow us on the social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, LinkedIn, Lille Agora, which is actually our professional platform. Or you can also follow us we have the official University of Lille accounts, but we also have the international office, other accounts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, where you can actually see what we propose to welcome international students. So thank you very much for your attention. So it's now actually, if you have questions, it is time to you, actually, it's time to us to listen to you.
Right. Good. Thank you, Alex and Eris. Yeah, there's a question asking from the audience. It says, if I propose a diploma of business administration, is it possible to apply the Master of Science or relevant department?
So yeah, I answered the question in the
Right.
chat, so I do not know if it shares in the screen, but
Yes.
it depends a little bit. When we are talking about foreign diploma, the representatives of the bachelor, master's, or PhD program will ask to see the contents of the courses of your diploma here in Taiwan or in another country to know if you have sufficient knowledge of what you will learn during the master's degree, for example. And then you will study a little bit what was the content of each of your courses you followed. So I cannot say yes or no, it depends.
I see. Yeah, follow up by that question. I would like to know if the student is changing the maybe the subject, like from business to science, and does the student or the applicant do they need to have the working experiences for the future study subject or course?
Actually, once again, it depends on the experience that the student have in the area, or also what they did during, I mean, for example, if they have a 3 years bachelor degree, and then actually they started working because now, I mean, he or she does not want to continue studying, I don't know, scientist, but now he wants to focus on business, and now he has actually 2 years of experience in business. That actually can be taken account during the analysis of the profile. But actually, it depends on each profile. We have like we have more degrees that are normally welcome international students, so they are used to this kind of diploma. And we also have different programs where they are roughly different students or international students, so they have actually to follow the field process like a normal, I mean, like French students. So it depends actually on the analysis of the process. But of course, if they have experience on the area, that helps actually to understand why they have a diploma in another area and now they want to focus in another one.
Okay, thank you. That sounds very, interesting, because some of the students right now, they are focusing on maybe the English subject, but in terms of the interest, they might study, some lots of on the science or relate to the biology or physical or something courses. So I think because due to the global situation right now, so students are right now, they are open up for many routes as well.
Yeah. And actually with it is true that we only have like many questions about science and technology degrees, and this is actually the campus that welcomes more international students at the university. So there are many programs in the science of technology area that are open for international students.
Great. Okay, I think there's a question, but I guess I need your help to read that. Couldn't read French.
J'ai fait un peu de recherche, j'ai vu une information qui précise la critère inclut la diplôme de gestion. Maybe you can reformulate the question because I do not understand quite you wish to know.
Si ce critère inclut le diplôme de gestion. Maybe the criteria to get the diploma.
Or the criteria or the entry requirement to apply for the science subject
maybe
course. Yes,
maybe it's written that you have some gestion diploma to apply for this dedicated master or bachelor degree, I think.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, because gestion is actually related to management, but I don't know if if they check about the criteria, but actually to come at the university, you have like different, if you're a French student or if you're international students, you have like requirements to enroll a bachelor degree or a master degree or a PhD degree. So actually the difference between international and local student is actually the diploma that we got that we got abroad. To understand what actually we got at the university, the international university, and then what we can do with that diploma in the university.
Right.
So actually that depends. In management, if is that the question is if it's related to gestion. So it's actually we have different programs and different programs also in English related to management, because the School of Management actually merged like 2 years ago, and they create like a huge Lille University Management School. So it's really open to international students. So if there is criteria like all our programs, but actually this is one of the area that are really welcome to the international students.
Yeah. Thank you. And I quite like your schoolhouse, lots of grants, and also the student can apply for, and also the Erasmus scholarship. So on Erasmus scholarship, is it very difficult, or is it easy for maybe the international student to apply and also get the fund?
I would say it's quite easy to apply, because there is one requirement of the European Commission to recruit international students. So they have an advantage in front of French students who wish to apply for this master's degree funded by the European Commission, because there is some percentages of international students. So the responsible of the masters have to get and to find international students who wish to follow the courses. So I think it's an advantage to be an international student.
Right.
Yeah, and because most of the programs they are in English, so that gives you also an extra opportunity, because most of our international students they speak English, so they also have this advantage, as Alexis said.
And compared to the French students who only speak French and not enough English, so being international students is one of the advantages to get the funding from the Erasmus program.
Sounds great. So Taiwanese student, you have to apply for this Erasmus scholarship and also go to University of Lille for study. And two more questions from me. First one, you have so many English taught courses. So when students study for those English taught courses, do they get a chance to study maybe the free French course or the French language in the school?
Yeah, so for example, in the case of the accredited programs that Alexis presented, they also have the opportunity to arrive before, it depends on each accredited program, they have the opportunity to arrive before the start of classes so they can follow French classes. The university will also have this institution for French foreign language that can also help students, but in this one, actually, you have to pay for it. But we also have different programs at the university, especially at the Maison Internationale, so the international house, making different programs where, for example, an international student wants to improve, I don't know, French, and then there is another French students that want to improve Taiwanese. So actually, they make this,
language exchange,
what is called tandem. So they make these exchanges to improve, for example, Spanish and French, or English and French, or French and Italian, or whatever, that makes actually or that gives actually the possibility to international students to improve French while they are here in Lille, even if they are following an English degree.
Yeah.
And also in the frame of these programs, there are mostly courses, like in classes, but also in the research units with researchers from all over the world, and obviously with researchers, French researchers, with which they can speak in French and to be taught to do some experiments in French. There's not only English, full English. If a student wish to speak French with a teacher who speak French, obviously we speak in French with the students.
Yeah, and actually at the university, you can see this, I mean, in the university and in the city, you can see this international atmosphere, but then you live in France. So you're going to find like really easy someone speaking to you. For example, if you are going to the bakery, then you're going to order your bread in French. So actually you live here, so you're in total immersion. So I'm sure that they are going to improve and get better in French living in France.
Yeah, I would guess so. Okay, last question from the audience. Will all the information of fellowship be posted on the website of the Lille University?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Or maybe you can just type it the website at
yes, I will just send in the chat.
On the chat, yeah.
Yeah, so Alexi, you can maybe write it. So we have in the official website of the university, there is an international entrance. So this international page is actually our webpage, where you can find everything related to student mobilities, to programs, to the international house. And there is actually a full entrance about these graduate programs, where you can find information not only about the program itself, but also the different calendar and type of grant that you can get if you come in one of these master degrees.
Okay, great. Sounds great. Thank you. So thanks, Alex and Eris, for tonight's great information about the University of Lille and audiences. 各位同学，希望你们今天晚上都有听到非常多，而且是很棒的资讯，关于里尔大学的申请方式以及还有课程相关资讯。如果各位结束之后还有各位其他的问题的话，也欢迎也请你再提供出来给我们，我们会将您的问题再转给学校，让他们来回答。好，那我们稍微请大家稍作休息，我们下一场 Emily Core 美院的说明会，我们在7点40大概45、46分的时候就开始，所以请大家稍作休息，等一下马上回来。好，那也同时请不要忘记把你的问题打在 Q&A 的聊天中。Okay, so tonight, very thanks to Alice and Eris for tonight's great presentation.
Thank you and to
thank you
team. Thank you for inviting us.
Great.
Thank you for inviting us, and thanks for all the students coming actually to get information about the university.
Great. So see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.